Good morning.
Morning, guys.
Thank you so much for coming to the stream of the 2021 Cikal CAS exhibition. We'll be starting shortly, but yeah. What are you looking forward to
So
see most? Sorry, what? You go first.
yeah. No. Yeah, I'm really excited to see all the cockles, the youthful
Yeah,
students.
true. Exactly. I think, what are you most excited to see? Which project?
Hmm. I'm really interested in Arfas and Cikal too.
Yeah, I think I saw his on Instagram before. It was the one
Yeah,
about
I did. Yeah.
the healthcare workers and stuff, right?
Mhm.
Really cool.
Yeah, it's really interesting.
And I also saw I think it's interesting to see how this year some of them got to do their projects offline, but some of them also had to do it
Hmm.
online. So I think it's gonna be a
Yeah,
lot of interesting like innovation from that.
true. Yeah, I'm really interested in what they say, like their explanation and their journey. Apalagi
Yeah,
kayak in this year, kayak it's gonna be hard, see for them. Tapi they're able to push through.
definitely. And I'm also kind of um nervous for our cast projects because personally I
Oh
haven't
yeah.
done that. But yeah, and
Mm,
there we can take a lot of inspiration from here.
yeah, of course, yeah.
Mhm.
All right, so
Probably gonna start in 2 minutes, but everyone can just settle
okay.
in and get their snacks or their water, you know.
Yeah, wait, we can wait for them. Let's show. Have you had breakfast yet?
I did. I woke up
Oh,
early this morning,
yeah.
surprisingly
Mm,
for this.
for this. Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah,
It's fun.
you ever have any ideas for your cast project? You know?
Mm, I mean, I've yeah, I think I've started.
Okay.
Yeah. It's been fun actually.
It's in progress.
Yeah, it's in progress. Yeah. How about
Okay.
you? How about you? Do you have any ideas yet?
I have very abstract ideas, but I haven't actually made a proposal or anything, so I'm
Okay.
pretty, behind on that, but I'll
Mm.
try to catch up soon, hopefully.
You'll catch up. It's okay.
Yeah, we'll catch up. Okay, it's less than a minute to the event,
Yeah,
so
can
hope
we see
everyone's
how
excited.
many people are watching?
Kenapa?
Can we see how many people are watching?
I don't think so because this is connected to YouTube. Oh, 35.
Or-
Oh, there's only 35 people. Hi to all the 35 people. Hope you guys are having a good
Okay.
Friday.
Yeah, guys.
I think
Cool.
there's a lot of
Cool.
students from year 6 to year 12 as well
Yeah.
that are watching. Hi guys.
Okay. Hi, guys. How are you guys?
We're gonna
It's
start.
pretty early.
Okay. All right. It's 10 a.m. Should we officially start?
Yes, I think we should start now. Are you guys ready?
All right.
Okay, yes.
So, okay. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the 2021 CAS Exhibition Project Talk. I'm Naila Aisha, or you can call me Aisha from year 11.
And I'm Maraska from year 11 too. And we would like to thank each and one of you for joining year's year 12 CAS exhibition with the theme of physically distant and virtually connected.
Today's event is the peak of the CAS exhibition, where our Year 12 seniors will be showcasing their CAS projects, which they have conducted throughout their 2 years of being DP students.
Yes. So this year there were a total of 33 CAS projects, but before we start today's project talk, I think we need to briefly explain for those who aren't very familiar yet about CAS. So what CAS actually is.
Yeah, you're right. First of all, to explain, CAS actually stands for creativity, activity, and service. So it has these three components, and it's a mandatory program of Sekolah Cikal that aims to develop students caring, impactful, leading, reflective, communicative, and action-oriented competencies of the 5 stars that I mentioned.
Yes. So throughout today's project talk, we'll get to learn more about CAS. So the projects and the challenges that people faced and the insights from conducting these projects.
Now, to open the 2021 CAS exhibition project talk, please welcome the head of school of Sekolah Cikal, Ibu Najla Shihab. Ibu Ella, the time is yours.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. It's good to see everyone here, being part of students' performance, being part of what students' actions are, has always been the highlight of any academic year. And I'm grateful, even though through the pandemic we've been having challenges in the best way where we can do quality learning. We are here today witnessing an examples of how community action, creativity, and service, which is part of service learning program in Cikal and part of your graduation requirement for the IB program, can be conducted even through all the hardship. Developing academic and non-academic skills, developing a child well-roundedly has always been one of the biggest part of our curriculum and philosophy. In Cikal, we actually believe that there's no such distinctions between academic or non-academic, between soft skills and hard skills, between learning inside the classrooms or contributing to society. Because we always believe that we need to develop future competencies. Everything that's needed by the students, all the attitudes, the understanding, the skills that are needed for their futures are nurtured here in our Cikal ecosystems and throughout all the teaching and learning process. I really want to acknowledge all the hard work, the contributions that the students have put into their projects. I'm sure they are learning a lot, even more than the people that they are contributing to. I'm sure you have learned the value of collaborations, and I'm sure you've been very absorbent in witnessing what's happening outside the classrooms. And I surely hope that whatever you're working on ignite a lifelong passion to contribute to our society. Congratulations for all your achievement during these CAS projects. And I'm grateful for all the teachers, for the support of the parents that truly makes a difference in the students' journey throughout the CAS projects. Thank you for being here. And I hope you'll be at awe of what our students have achieved as much as I have enjoyed their journey throughout the whole process. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you so much, Buela, for the wonderful speech. So now, we would like to ask Miss Anggi, as the DP coordinator of Cikal Amri Secondary School, to give a few words. Yeah, Miss Anggi, the time is yours.
Thank you, Mariska and Aisha, and thank you, Ibu Ella, for coming to this exhibition. Good morning, students, parents, and teachers. I would like to welcome everyone. And we now we are about to celebrate students' achievement in fulfilling the requirements of creativity activity service through this CAS exhibition. I know even though this is very first time that is done virtually, but the excitement still is still strongly felt by everyone. And in CAS, I think the students have opportunities to enhance their personal and interpersonal development by learning through experiences. And it provides opportunity for the students to develop self-determination and collaboration with others, fostering a sense of accomplishment and enjoyment from their work. And at the same time, CAS is an important counterbalance to the academic pressure of diploma program. And I would like also to say thank you to our CAS coordinator, Ms. Nisa, and also all of the CAS advisors who have guided students in completing their CAS experiences and projects. And for all the students, I am proud to see all of you that you have gained valuable lessons from this program. And I hope that everything that you have gained during CAS period can be contributed to your community. And last but not least, enjoy the event and congratulations, students. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Angi, for the wonderful speech. So, for today's event, the 2021 CAS Exhibition Project Talk is actually the peak of the 2021 CAS Exhibition, which has been ongoing from January 30 to February 5 on Instagram. So, to check out all of the cool 33 projects, please head to the IG page at Cikal CAS_exhibition.
Yes, so this project talk is divided into two sessions where we'll be able to chat with 8 representatives from the CAS projects. So each session will be ongoing for 30 minutes, and with a Q&A session where you guys can ask what you're curious about from projects.
Yeah. So for the first session, we'll actually be talking to 4 representatives of 4 different projects. So we have Arfa representing Plus 2020, Raja representing Festival Literasi ND, Iza representing MO4 at KDM, and Rana representing Advanced Leadership Training. So I would like to remind everyone joining this talk that you're invited to write your own questions in the comment section below because we'll be answering, because our speakers will be answering the questions later on.
Yeah. Well then, hello guys, everyone.
Hey guys.
Hi. Hi guys, hi Rana.
Hello everyone.
Arfa, Raja.
Hello.
How are you guys this morning? How are you
We're
guys?
doing good. Doing good.
All right. So to start off, can you guys please introduce yourself and your projects?
Starting off with me, I guess. Hi guys, my name is Arva Dwitya. You guys can call me Arva. I'm year 12 student in Cikal Amri, and for my CAS project, I decided to collab with one of my classmates or friend named Putra Ditya Wiradharma, or as you guys may know him as Ade. And for this CAS project, we decided to create a short motivational video for the public, which covers a lot of things that happened in 2020, both the negative and the positive sides. So that's about it.
All right, that's cool, man. So moving on to
I guess me.
Yeah.
Okay. My name is Rajanam. I'm in grade 12. My project is simply about. Can you hear me? Okay. My project is simply about the Taman Bacaan Pelangi. I join up and volunteer, and I volunteer their organization to help with the children's illiteracy and giving opportunity for education for kids that is in Ende Islands, which is in Nusa Tenggara Timur. Thank you.
Wow, that seems really interesting. Maybe we could move on to Rana.
Hi, my name is Rana Saharjo, and I'm here as a representative for the CAS project ALT. It's basically a leadership program for the student council batch of Sekolah Cikal. Yay.
Okay. So last but not least, Iza.
Hi, I'm Isa from the mobile project. This project I'm collaborating with Isabel Melissa Pranginangit and Vice Hafna Alindi at KDM.
Wow, okay. Such different and interesting projects we have here today. So maybe we could start with the Q&A for you guys. So we're just gonna ask the questions, and of course, whoever wants to answer first, you guys can go ahead. So our first question is, you guys have so many different, types of projects and things like that. So we want to know, like, where did the idea come from, or like what inspired you to start your project? So anyone can answer.
Okay,
Anyone?
go.
Should I? Okay.
Okay, I'll start first. I didn't really have much inspiration for the ALT as it was like an annual program, like an annual event held by the student council during the commencement for the new student council batch. But the inspiration for like a much more intense and much more challenging set of activities for this ALT was because of the pandemic and the course that you guys would eventually take. Like, it's a very different environment than the student council that we've always had for the past couple of years, and applying the ALT now would like kind of mature you guys for the course that you will have. Kaya misalnya making online events or connecting with the community through online platforms or alternative projects and so on. Okay, pass to another person.
Personally, like me and Mariska also joined like the ALT because we were signing up for Stuco, right? So I think it was definitely really cool project you guys had, and it was actually really insightful. And yeah, so maybe we can move on to Rajat. You unmuted.
Okay. The idea of my project simply came from at the beginning of my project. My goal was to find a project where I can use what I have been studying, putting it into practice. When I met the founder of Taman Bacaan Pelangi, Nila Tanzil, I was inspired by how determined she is to help Indonesian children to fight illiteracy and give them opportunity for education. During my during my discussion, she planned to build her 100 community library in East of Indonesia, located in Ende Islands, to celebrate and to mark their 10th anniversary. And then we went to discussion on how to make this event a success and memorable for the community and TBP. I started off with the interview with her, and I was inspired to help the children. So I decided to volunteer myself, and I'm honored because Nila Tanzil fully trusts me to create the whole campaign, to design all creative materials for the donation, like the donation website, giant banner, and its social media. So I started off by interview with her and then get it inspired. Thank you.
It's really cool. I feel like there's always like a lot of projects talking about illiteracy because it's a very important issue here in Indonesia, and I think it's really cool how you were involved in like so many of the different processes for that project. So yeah, that's really cool. And last but wait, no, we still have Arfa and Iza. So maybe Iza, you can go.
Yeah, so the inspiration actually from the very first start of planning, we already decided that we want to focus on education. And one of my friend Isabel, she suggested that we should uh, volunteer at KDM, uh, marginalized children, and also other than that, we are also motivated by seeing foreigners who help unfortunate children in Indonesia. So we were thinking like, why can't them, but why can't us? So starting from that.
Wow. Okay. So I see like a lot of you guys have something to do with education on your topics. I think that's really important. And last but not least, Arfa, go ahead.
So the first spark of the idea came from me wanting to make a video about the pandemic. But when me and my partner Ade scrolled through the media, we realized that not a lot of people are posting or publishing content that are focused on motivating people and inspiring people. Instead, most of the media covers the negative side of 2020. Um, for example, the daily cases of COVID-19 and health protocols that we should follow. So from there, we wanted to do is something different and something that we think the public needs, which is a video that reminds them and motivates them about what we actually shaped in 2020. So that includes us talking about both the positive and negative sides of 2020, and to also give a little hope for the upcoming years.
Wow. Yeah, I think
Really.
that's really yeah, that's really relevant. I feel like we're always like bombarded with negative information. I think it's really
Yeah.
cool how your project talked about like the things we should look forward to as well, and like something that motivates others. That's really cool. So yeah, I mean, all these like different ideas, I think that led to your projects. They're really interesting and they're really relevant to what's happening right now. And maybe you guys could talk a little bit more about the process, elaborate a bit more on how you got from like that idea itself to actually executing the final product that you guys have now. So yeah, who wants to start with that?
Maybe I could start.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
So for the process, it started when me and Ade, had a brainstorming session where we watched a lot of videos from YouTube to gather enough inspiration to actually pinpoint what we wanted to produce. So that took a whole day of just creating a mood board and filled out with lines and content that we wanted to highlight in the video. And next out, we planned out the dates of our shooting and made sure we gathered all the footage needed for the video. So that took another whole day. Then once we finished our shooting session, Ade took care of the editing and publishing process, and our project is actually finished. But the whole thing took probably a month, only because that the pandemic really difficults us to give out to make time for the session. So the whole project took a month. So
Okay, that means you guys like did all that like editing and everything in a month. Like aside from like also your assignments that you had to keep up with. I think it's really cool how you were able to like manage your time and get it done in a month.
Yeah.
But like yeah, it's really cool. I should keep that in my video projects.
And I know that it's hard to like balance school and outside of work. Like apalagi kayak in the editing and shooting process, kayak it can be really
Yeah,
hard to manage.
exactly. So props to you guys. That was been a
Yeah.
lot. And
Moving
yeah,
on
so yeah, moving on.
Okay, I guess
to
again.
okay, Raja. Go ahead.
Yeah. So my process of my project, it was actually a 4 month project period. The process start with the main theme of the event, the main campaign, the design that I had to make, which was the posters, the flyers, and the social media account. And later on, I had to make the design to gain donations on website kitabisa.com. And then after that, I put my posters and boxes at schools and some different schools to get books donated. The book was donated and promoted on social media before the big event. And then on the event itself, it took like a week to be there. I went to Ende Island, in East Nusa Tenggara. I was involved in helping to manage the event, and the festival itself started in the morning at 8 till night at 9. I spent time with mostly the children during the festival, and I'm also part of the documentation and get some footage for the video making. Uh, that was my process for my project.
Wow. So
Thank you.
I guess, and compared like to Arfa, who did like a lot of things in that month, I guess yours had like a longer process because 4 months is, well, 4 months is a long time. So yeah, it must have been a lot of hard work to get to your final product. That's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Maybe Iza and Rana can go share next.
Okay, I think I'll go first. Basically, the overall process that me and my partner Yasmin did to prepare for the ALT and to execute it was approval from the school and then brainstorming the activities and how they would serve as a great educational process for the participants. And then it came like preparations for contacting the guest speakers or the presentations we needed to prepare for the day, activities, schedules, and everything like that. But I guess the most important part was the fact that we did this in a very close time span. Even though we started the ideas from August, we had like a very intensive progression during the months of bulan ketujuh apa ya? Pokoknya before September. Like September and the month before was very intense because we had to like catch up with school approval. We created like presentations and revised it all the time with our supervisors like Parendra and Parusdi to make sure that it was sufficient and it was like apa ya, kayak efficient and like useful for you guys, not as just for something to have fun for, but something that can be used to kayak further ngebekelin kalian nanti perjalanan next student council batch gitu sih.
Yeah, I feel like um, as you know, someone like, again, as me and Mark who took the ALT, I think we can both agree that it was really insightful, and we were actually like surprised that there was like that much effort put into getting.
Yeah, true. I feel like you guys really put us together and make us really like get comfortable with each other, and it's really fun and
Yeah,
really
like
cool.
being online,
Yeah.
But like
I
maybe,
know.
yeah, maybe like how did you guys figure out, like what aspects we needed to like get before joining school? Like what made you determine like, oh, we have to have this guest speaker and this guest speaker and things like that?
Probably looking at the situation also, we're in a pandemic, so it's not really measurable when this will end, or well, I hope this will end soon. But there's still this kayak apa ya, kayak uncertainty that we won't meet face to face. So the student council would have to allocate their events or their programs online, right, through different approaches than we had before. So guest speakers that I had like Become More and then Kudeta Mag, sorry, was just like a way to help give you ideas because they are platforms that connect to society or their community through online platforms and really impactful events. So yeah.
That's really interesting how you guys put everything together eventually, and yeah, good job with that. Like it was a
Yeah.
very successful
Oh,
ALT.
thank you. Yes, Yasmin
Good
too.
job.
Isa now
Mhm.
can explain her process.
Last but not least,
So for the Mover project, our group did the planning since December, and then we execute the action on January 11th, I think. So yeah, what we did most for the process is discussion and observation. So since we're planning to do it in KDM, we did observation there, also discussion with the supervisor too, what they need, because we need to highlight the words needs. Like, for example, giving books, we ask them first, like, what kinds of book do you need? And the answer is, we need books such as English and not that like in different levels, because the children there, their ages are varied, so we need to adjust our teaching method for each of them. And also we also discuss of classes such as art classes. For example, I can do patchwork. So I decided that I'm gonna open a patchwork classes, and then Faiz, she can do planting, right? So she she opens up planting classes, and then we after we divide the part, uh, the students can choose which classes they would like to take and they're passionate about. And so yeah, and also Isabel, she teaches Spanish since she can speak Spanish.
Oh, wow.
She teaches also
wow.
Spanish there. Yeah, and turns out some of the students are also interested in learning Spanish as they want to speak with foreigners.
Oh wow.
Wow, that's really cool. That's really
Yeah. Really cool. I feel like it's really cool how like you guys came together with like your different specialties and your skills, and you like figured out how to share those skills with other people. I think that's really cool. And
And
does that
fun.
mean like yeah, like does that mean you guys did this for the pandemic then, right? Because it was like offline classes. Was this like before the pandemic then?
Yeah, it's before the pandemic.
Ah, okay. And maybe you could like also share a bit about like what KDM is as well, maybe to our audience.
Oh, it's a non-profit organization that focus on marginalized children. So they help them for their life in the future, because the marginalized children or the street children, they doesn't really have any proper um, education or the survival kit, this
Mm-hmm.
their preparation for facing the world now. So yeah, they're giving them places for them to learn, to prepare themselves for later on.
Ah, I see, I see. Great. That's really inspiring, and it really highlights giving back to our community with what we, the skills that we have. So yeah, good job on your project. That was sounds
good
really
job
cool.
for you and the team.
Yeah, good
Thank
job to
you.
all of you. I mean, it must have been, although some of you got to like do the project offline, but also like a lot of you did it during the pandemic. So I'm sure that must have like came with like a lot of new challenges that you had to adjust with, or like even if you did it offline, pastikan, there's a lot of challenges with like time management and making like your ideas like concrete. So like maybe you guys can also share a bit more about what challenges you faced and like how did you overcome those challenges. So yeah, maybe we can start with Raja.
Okay, challenges that I faced in my project, basically, since I did it offline and I did it in 2019, I did it earlier. So I would say my challenges was getting the ideas for the main master design, because it changes when we get sponsorships, which also need me to redesign the layout and put the logos all over again, and keep doing that for until the event started. So I think that I would say that's my most challenging phase that I did for my project. It's keep redesigning all my my posters and flyers. Yes, thank you.
Yeah, man, I feel like that's really relatable because, considering that you did like a lot of the different aspects of your project on your own, and like I think I went through that as well, like during personal project, just kind of like when you make an event, there's always like those small changes to design and like you have to put the logos precisely and things like that. But yeah, I'm sure you must have like learned a lot from that process and how you overcame it as well. So yeah, maybe we can move on to Arfa.
Maybe one of the main constraints that me and Ade faced was the pandemic itself, because we had to shoot this video while during the pandemic. So it limits our mobility and flexibility of shooting a video. It was a bit complicated shooting a video while also following the health protocols, but at the end we managed to pull it off while also keeping distance and wearing our masks as much as we could. So that's probably one of the most challenging things we have to face while conducting this project.
I think it's definitely really cool how you guys managed to pull through because I'm sure like everyone can agree it's not easy to execute a project during the pandemic, right? Like you said,
Yeah.
it makes things like a lot more restricted, but it's definitely, great that you guys still stick to like health protocols and everything as everyone should. So yeah. Um, Maybe next we could go to Isa.
For the work project, our challenge is, as I said before, the age of these marginalized children is varied. So our way of teaching different ages is different. For example, for the primary, we usually did like storytelling or games because it's easier for them to um, get the message or accept the knowledge. And for the secondary, we do normal class, also games, but in a different level. For example, if they learn about probability, and we're gonna do like a pretty um, advanced game of probability, and yeah, and so it's different for every kids. And to solve this, we usually did a lot of discussion with the supervisor who knows very well about them. Like for these kids, if you want to instruct them, do not just like instruct them to do something, but try to like apa sih kayak mancing gitu, so that they want to do it. And yeah, that's basically the challenge of this project.
Okay, berarti kayak you really had to, personalize ya kayak the classes to their different
Yes.
needs and actually consider like their different, strengths and weaknesses. So
Yes.
yeah, that must have been
Especially each of them, like for example, the primary, they're a bit hard to control, so you need to be really patient in teaching them.
Yeah, I can imagine. So you definitely increased your, skills in being more patient with people. Like, it's been a lot to handle. But yeah, that's really cool. And last but not least, Hannah, go ahead.
Okay, yeah, as I said before, I think my main concern was the time restriction that I had, not only in the preparation, but like the timeline for when the event was held. So since the preparation was really like in a limited time slot, we couldn't really like find a proper uh, a proper schedule or timing jauh-jauh dari hari preparation kita. So eventually we couldn't use days that were used for daily school subjects or whatever or whichever, because it was really mepet, and then it was hard to get approval from the school during subjects as well, especially because you guys are in DP and I'm in DP. Most of the student council right now are in DP, so it was very hard. Eventually, we allocated to when it was a term break, I suppose. So yeah, definitely the time constraint, but eventually we got over it by teamwork and communication. So.
It's great. I mean, I remember, yeah, I think it was term break, if I'm not mistaken, and I think that was like a really ideal time for us to do that because, like, we didn't have like that much tasks yet, and like we were actually like available and things like that. So I think it's really cool that you guys were able to eventually find the right time for that. Yeah. And okay, so I'm really glad to hear like all the different ways you guys, overcame your challenges, and it definitely like gives me a lot of insight as well as year 11 to, things I might encounter and how I should overcome them. But maybe moving on, Mara, do you also have a few questions for them?
Yes, I have a few questions for you guys. So maybe I want to ask, what are some insights that you guys gain from these projects? Obviously you guys went through this whole process, and you guys will learn a lot of things. So
I think Mara
You
said,
mean like kayak like the what we got from doing this project gitu ya?
oh yeah,
Maybe
yeah, yeah.
something like that.
Rana, you can start too.
Okay. Probably the insight that I got from this project was no matter the situation, kayak we can always do something to help our community. Kayak it's like apa ya? Help is not limited to physical interaction or face-to-face conversations gitu. There's always a way to receive education, to give education, such as from our guest speakers you got from online events and everything like that. Itu sih yang aku paling belajar dari ALT ini.
Oh. Okay. That's nice. I see pasti from that whole process, I think kelihatan banget sih the possibility of outcome yang you're gonna get, apalagi from dealing with in the field of education itself. It's really, it shows. It really shows. Okay, can we move on to you I think Aisha, you'll relate to that juga kan pasti.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, can we move on ke Raja maybe?
Okay. Insight from my project. Well, to start, it was a really humble experience. I mean, I'm grateful to be involved in this like historical event of Taman Bacaan Pelangi. I gain insight that what I am currently studying can be beneficial to community like this. And on the other hand, I get a chance to see the other side of Indonesia, where and the island is lacking infrastructure, the children, the poverty. I mean, the whole situation really touched me. I think that's my insight from my whole project. Is really grateful.
Yeah, I think it's an experience that you can't get anywhere else. I think it's very humbling juga, especially when you're there physically and you can see the people who are going through it. I think it's very emotional juga pasti kan. Okay, can we move on to Iza maybe?
So the insight that me, Isabel, and Fayez got from this project is, first of all, gratitude. As Raja said, it's such a humble experience. And also we realized that these children, these unfortunate children, even though they doesn't really have a proper education, many hardship in their life, they still have a really strong passion to learn, strong passion to reach a goal, and they all have their own goals for the future. So when in KDM we have like this also sharing session with the children, they one of them said, "I want to be a football player," and so it's very inspiring to hear their stories.
It's really heartwarming to hear that, apalagi kayak when you encounter the children and hearing their experience and their what they want to be. Yeah, it's really inspiring for us. It's really good experience, I think. Okay, last but not least, Arfa.
Probably the most important insight that I got from doing this project is, I would say it's the same as Rana, that no matter what the situation is, you can always help the community. And from this project, I did learn that, because me and Ade wanted to help or make a contribution to the community, especially during these rough times, the pandemic and everything. So from this project, I realized that help is not limited, and you can always do something to give back to the community. Always.
Yeah. Yeah, that was really good. That was really good. I feel like giving back to the community is really important, especially in these hard times. It's really cool. It's really cool to hear that, because apalagi kayak hearing the process of apa namanya shooting apa in the pandemic and editing and doing all this stuff. It's not easy, and doing it in a very short period of time, it's very challenging. And I'm happy to see that you're able to pull it through. So props to you guys. Props to all of you guys for doing all of these projects. So
Good job.
very cool, very cool. Good job, good job. So the next question is that
Is Miles confusing for you guys as well? Okay.
in BP.
Okay, exactly. You freeze for a second earlier. Could you repeat the question?
Okay, sorry. So apa namanya, we want to know kayak as a year 11 DP student that might do CAS as well in a pandemic, what advice would you give to your juniors, to people younger than you?
I think I can start with this.
Okay, Raja, please.
Okay. Well, my advice, I think, choose a project that links with what you like, or like relates to what you are studying. So therefore, you'll be eager to finish it. And also, most important and crucial is to manage the project timeline and do it early. That's my suggestion, because at the end you have IAs and EEs, and you want to finish CAS project first before you done any other stuff. So yes, that's my advice.
Okay. Thank you so much. I think that definitely helps. Okay. Moving on to the next one. Thank you, Raja. Iza, maybe.
So from us, I think our group, our advice is that take this CAS project as an opportunity or a chance for you to discover more about your passion and new skills, maybe, and just have fun. And also, as Arfa said before, give back to the community. As a
Nice.
quote from Booker T. Washington said, those who are the happiest are those who do the most for others.
Yeah, totally agree with that.
Yes, nice. I think apa namanya, relating to.
Is he freezing again? Okay, let's just wait. Oh wait. So I think it's really cool that like that what Raja said earlier about like time management. What you said about actually looking for something that we're like passionate about, because I feel like a lot of people still see CAS as just like a mandatory part of the curriculum that we need to like graduate. But like you said, if we actually use it as an opportunity to do something, I think we can make a lot more and take a lot more like value out of the CAS experience. So yeah, I think that's really good advice. And Matt, are you back?
Yes, I am back. Can you hear me? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Apa, apa in a pandemic, I was kayak, online learning kayak it's common to have these, kind of situations. So yeah, so we can move on, I guess, to siapa yang belum tadi? Arfa, I think belum. Or Rana?
I guess my only advice is to conduct a CAS project that you truly enjoy doing, because from my experience on making this CAS project possible is that I really do enjoy the process of it, and I had a great time with my partner making this video because we shared a lot of ideas and connected them with each other. So I would say the most important thing is to enjoy the process and consider the project as a way to express your own ideas in your own terms. So don't think of it as a weight or anything. It's more of a getaway, you could say, from
Yeah.
Other academic assignments and that. And it's a really good opportunity for both building our soft and hard skills and gaining more experience and having an open-minded mindset.
Nice. Yes. I think, that's the key, man. I think in order to enjoy, apa namanya, to make things easier, I think you need to enjoy, right? You need to enjoy the process. Don't make it a burden to yourself.
Mhm.
I think, it's a good mindset to keep kayak your projects itu ngelakuinnya, you have to enjoy it biar ngerasa gak beban. Apalagi kayak to get away from school gitu, from school works, kayak doing these kayak your project especially, it's really creative, right? So yeah, I like it. I like that. Nice. Thank you, Arfa.
Okay.
Rana.
Okay. So maybe the overall advice I can give to the juniors or anyone that's going to conduct CAS is to make a use of the opportunities that you have, like the other said, and to apply it as if it's not a mandatory thing. So whether it's to your liking or to the stuff that you're already doing nowadays, especially kayak sekarang banyak orang yang ikut organizations or they have their own daily routines like in sports and everything. It can be used as a CAS project or CAS activities in general. So not to mempersulit keadaan yang kalian udah ada gitu. So make use of what you have, what you're doing, or what you're involved with gitu. Yeah, opportunity
Okay.
in difficulties, something like that.
Okay. Wise words. I like that. Okay. Thank you, Rana. Thank you so much. It's really good. The words is really inspiring. Aisha, you have anything to say?
Oh yeah, I think I agree with like everything you already said as well. I definitely personally also like got a lot of insight from your Q&A session, like what you had to go through and like how you overcame it, and definitely like the advice that you had to give to us. I think that's very applicable to me and a lot of other juniors who are currently starting our CAS journey. I guess you would say that. And yeah, I think that was like really insightful Q&A session. But that's actually it from our questions. But we do have questions from the audience. So since we've already heard like explanations from each project, we'll now go straight to the questions from the audience, or your questions. So we'll start with the first question. Okay, so the first question is from Gifari. It says, how do you decide who to cooperate with, and how do you sustain a long-lasting connection with your collaborative peer? So yeah, maybe you want to answer this more like collaboration, and how do you know like, oh, I should work with this friend or like this person, and how do you maintain that connection and collaboration?
I think I could answer this question. Since my project consists of two person, and we wanted to make a video, so in the group, I mean, in the partner, one of them should be good at videography. So that's probably why I ended up with Ade, because he had the videography skills, which I don't, and I took control of the content and what we wanted to publish. So how I decided to cooperate with him is because that he's good at making videos, and I'm good at thinking of ideas. That's probably it. And we were good friends before the project itself, so we had a good connection already. And by doing this project, only extends our relationship, as a friend and as classmates as well.
Okay, so basically, like maybe to like sum up what you said, like so you already were like friends with Ade, like you're already good friends, but then also of course like you actually considered how you could combine your skills together, right? And like
Yes,
use it in
definitely.
a project. Great.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's great how you can complement each other.
Yeah.
I think that's the important thing. You guys can fill each other's needs. Yeah. Is there any more questions?
I also answer.
Okay, here we go. Isa.
Okay, so for us, for me, Bell, and Faiz, our connection with KDM, like what lasting is our support. So even though we already like not there, being with them since the pandemic, we still support them by watching their live videos, because some of the children, they show their passion by doing an assembly or a performance, and we actively watch it. So our support is still there, even though the pandemic is going on. So.
Yeah. I think that's definitely really important. Like even after you're finished with a project, right? Like you still maintain that connection with the other party that you work with. I think that's like a good reminder to everyone here that like even after we're done with like a collaborative project or something, to like stay in good terms with the people we're working with, because there's definitely going to be chances that we might work together with them again, right? So yeah, I think that's really insightful.
Exactly.
Yeah. And yeah, are there any more questions from the audience? Maybe we can move on to another question. Okay.
Okay, so Aja.
No, Mar, go ahead.
Okay, me. Okay. So ini pertanyaan dari Miss Iza. Oke, halo Miss Iza, tapi di submit itu sama Miss Anggi. Tapi iya diwakilkan. Okay, so how do you build the network when you are collaborating with external parties? Okay, who can?
Maybe Rana or Raja.
Yeah, I would love to answer this question. So the people involved in ALT other than me and Yasmin are alumni. So that was how the initial networking began. But how to build and maintain it is juga looking at the situation, kayak how can we benefit each other, if they can help us or not. And definitely kayak ya tadi kayak saling bantu. And probably most of all is like the respect and clear communication that we have, what we want them to bring to the table and how they can help us. And gitu sih. Most of the guest speakers that we have were our alumni, so we had no fees, but like yet again, building networks require respect and mutualism. Gitu sih.
Very nice, very nice. Yes. Okay, Rana, thank you so much for your answer. Is there any more questions from the audience?
Okay, so there's actually one. I think it's maybe in the comments, so it's not highlighted here, but somebody asked, are CAS projects some kind of optional activities to take? So maybe before we move on to another question to the from the audience to our speakers, so maybe we can answer that actually. So CAS projects are actually a mandatory component of the IB program. So as I explained earlier, it's actually a requirement to getting either your diploma, or even if you're like course, right? Like course, you still have to take CAS, right? Just to make sure. Yeah. So like
Yeah, I
yeah,
used to have to.
yeah. So like course or well, it's both like the same. You still have to take CAS, and yeah, it's basically a very um, important part of the curriculum because you actually um, as I said, learn a lot from like whether that's your creative aspect or like your service aspect, how you give back to the community, or also just like personal development, like an activity you actually have to like do sports and things like that, right? So yeah, to answer that, yeah, it's mandatory. So moving on to another question to our speakers. Are there any other questions from the audience? This is from Francesca Angelique de Guzman. Did you have to do a different CAS project every term?
Maybe you can answer that. Yeah, and Aisha bilang it's like you can say it's the final assessment to the whole CAS requirement in the IBDP. So it doesn't need to be conducted every term, only throughout the 2-year period of the diploma program, but you can do it any time during those 2 days and during those 2 years. But if you conduct it during the second year, it's better to do it before December because assessments and everything will be sent to the IB after that. Ito.
Thank you, Lana. I hope that answers the question for you. And we have another question from the audience. So,
Wow. Okay. Okay. I want to read this. Okay. From Youngstuification. Nice. Okay. Untuk Kakak Arfa. Oh, ini untuk Arfa doang. Okay. If you could redo one thing about your project, what would it be? Arfa, you can answer this question.
One thing that I could redo about this project is probably create a better ending of the video because our original plan was to make an ending, or there's more to it of the video, but we didn't have the footage or the time to create a proper ending, so we had to improvise, and we didn't get to do our original idea. So one thing if I could get the chance to do it one more time, I would probably create a better ending for the video. Yeah, that's probably it.
Okay. Maybe the others can answer the questions too, even though it's directly to Arfa. But others care about what would you guys improve from your project. Maybe Raja.
Sure, I can answer that. So the question is, what would I do if I could redo my project? Since I'm also doing the documentation and I'm going to make the documentary video for this organization, I think I should have take more stock shots or more uh, footage when I was in the event. I think that's it. To get more stock shots so I can make a long documentary. So I think that's what I would do.
Yeah, I think for about video projects, I think it's really important. Apa kayak I can relate to like if you have empty shots, you need shots to fill. That's why you need stocks, right? So
Yes.
pasti kayak pasti panik banget kalau misalnya nggak ada, terus kayak oh shit, how do we do this? Maybe we can go back kan jadi kayak
Yeah.
I think that's
okay, thank you for the answers, guys. I think we still have time for one or two more questions. So
yes, we still have questions.
let's see. The next question is okay. It's a follow-up question. Okay, so Gifari had another question. Basically, we should take into consideration of each other's skills. So Maybe someone can answer this. When working together with a friend even.
I think, okay, sorry for the background, but I think, yes, I do agree with that. We should have, I guess, complementary skills between the people involved. So, as I said before, what we can offer to each other to make our event or project better gitu. It's better with close friends. Kaya ang Arfa bilang, it's better. Like, it's just greater teamwork and everything, communication as well. Yeah, gitu. So you have to have something to offer other than just like being there in the project juga gitu.
Thank you for the answer. Berarti maybe to like sum that up is like, I feel like a lot of people are always maybe conflicted, like should they work together with people they're already friends with or just prioritize people who have like different skills and stuff, right? But maybe like from Vanna's answer to like answer Gafari's question, like we should work together with people like maybe we can work together with, like we know we can work together with them to be safer, but also make sure that like it's not just because you're friends with them, right? But because
Yeah, definitely true.
you have skills.
Totally agree. Also, if I can add, like, if you guys doesn't have like different skills or your specialty or something different from your friends, then um, if you do have something different, it's more better because then you can give or offer something different to the community you're working with. For example, in KDM, the crew there or the people there who teach the kids, they don't have these courses such as planting courses or patchwork courses, Spanish courses, or German courses. And because we do have, and that we have proper lessons for it, we deliver it to those who are also interested in learning it.
Yeah, that's definitely very insightful, and I really agree with you. I think like what you said about bringing together people with different skills and actually using that to combine one, and also like you said, like realizing the privilege we have to like learn those skills, maybe like formally and stuff like that. But yeah, I think that's really good. Thank you, Ida. I think we still have another question.
Okay, we have questions from Akira Bilal Samsudar. Oke, pertanyaan untuk Kak Raja. Distractions yang dialami apa aja? Yeah.
Okay, the distractions. Well, I did my project on grade 11, and I would say my distractions during my preparation process was probably my assignment that I have, maybe because I have a lot of assignments during that period of time. It distracts me with my preparation process, and yeah, I think that's my distraction is other assignments that I have.
Very real, very real. Yeah. I think the rest of you guys juga bisa relate to that. First. Okay, so thank you Raja for the answer. Habis ini ada pertanyaan terakhir.
Yeah, from the audience. Okay, so this is a question from Fasha untuk Kak Rana, and maybe some others if you guys want to answer juga boleh. Apakah kamu sudah lega setelah kamu selesai CAS tersebut? So, how do you feel?
Definitely, it was really straining, kayak capek gitu preparation, terus D-Day-nya. Mesti kayak beban mental gitu, harus selesai cepat. Kayak Raja juga bilang I had a lot of assignments and other requirements I had to fulfill. But what I felt after, other than kayak lega, udah nggak apa-apa tuh kayak very insightful. Kayak I've learned a lot of things other than kayak education gitu, kayak cara ngajar yang bener tuh gimana gitu-gitu. I felt very appreciative of people who teach online or teachers and everything, sama kayak organizational skills in general. Kaya I got a lot of feedbacks on how I should approach external parties from my guest speakers, kakak-kakak class alumni, stuko ako juga gitu. So I felt very very happy and very kayak yay selesai gitu. Jadi senang gitu sih sama lega akhirnya.
Yeah.
Maybe anyone has other kayak feelings after their project.
Yeah. Any other thoughts
That-
or like, go ahead. Isa.
Aku duluan nggak apa.
I definitely felt relieved because in the IB curriculum, I mean the IBDP curriculum, there's a lot of things that you should do. EEIAs and CAS is one of the mandatory things that we should do. So finishing this CAS project really eases my weight. But like I said, I also enjoyed it, which is why after finishing this CAS project, I also felt happy because I really enjoyed doing the project and also felt relieved. So I would say, in 2 words, I feel relief and happy after doing the CAS project.
Nice. It makes me happy. Thank you, Arva. Thank you, Isa.
So for me, Belle and Fez, we do feel kayak lega and happy after finishing, but we also kind of feel like um, a bit sad because we miss those days where we teach or share stories with those kids and just have fun with them. And yeah, kind of feel sad because it's over, but we're planning to continue the project later on. So.
Oh, that's really great. I feel like it's really cool how you guys actually, ended up really liking the project, and especially if you sustain it, I think that's also really cool. So good luck with that project.
Thank you.
And last but not least,
Yeah, I think those also applies to me. I mean, if I finish early, I will be relieved because there's so many assignment and going on to year 12, which we have a lot of in DP program. We have a lot of assignments like IAs and EEs, and I feel like if I've done CAS, I just I can be focused on those things, because out of every other assignments, probably CAS is the most taken time out of your DP program. So I just also relief if I finish early.
Yeah, I think we can all keep that in mind. Since we're still in the early stages, I feel like we really need to, you know, make sure we have things under like control with the timeline. Because, like you said, I feel like it would be really good if we could finish early and kind of like get it done with. So yeah, I think that was the final question actually. So maybe just to like summarize the talk for our audience, they like Rana, Iza, Arfa, and Raja, they all shared like their different projects and like what it means to them, or like how they got it done from like an idea to execution, and also the things that they're suggesting to you guys maybe in the audience who will be doing CAS soon maybe, or other forms of like personal projects. And yeah, we really hope that all those like insights can help you gain something, like leave you some food for thought and things like that. And yeah, so Mar, go ahead.
Okay, so that's it. I think yeah. About before that, I want to like just say a few words of how great this has been. Okay, thank you so much to each and one of
This is so
you.
great.
Thank you, Rana, Arfa, Iza, and Raja.
Thank you, Maris and Aishka as well.
Thank you so much.
We really, we appreciate your hard work, your efforts, and the outcome you get. And it's really inspiring to see your journeys and what you guys been through. It's nice to hear your the sharing session. and yeah, I hope that kita semua masih bisa belajar from one another ya, apalagi our great Aisyah
Yeah.
and yang ke bawah-bawah yang lainnya juga. Abis itu, yeah, I think that's it. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much again to all of you for all those insights, for sharing with us and the audience. And also just a reminder to everyone here that this is only like a very small part of the batch and all their hard work. So you guys should check out all of the other cool 33 projects and head to the IG page Cikal CAS_exhibition, which you can see is written here. So don't forget to check that out as well. And yeah, that is it from me. Aisha, year 11.
Yes, I am Maraska from year 11.
And don't forget that we still have the second session of CAS Project Talk with more inspiring stories from 4 more CAS projects, which will be hosted by our friends Reika and Iska. And also a video after this will be played of all the CAS projects displayed on our Instagram. So stay tuned for that, and thank you for tuning in. Have a wonderful Friday.
Hey, best of luck to all year 11.
Best of luck to all of you. Thank you for
Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Thank you so much, guys. Yay.
Bye, everyone.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the 2021 CAS Exhibition Project Talk. So this is the peak event of this year's CAS exhibition with the theme Physically Distant,
Virtually Connected. And welcome to the second session of today's Project Talk. I am Reika.
And I am Iska, and we will be the moderators for this session. Now, I would like to remind you that in this project talk, we'll be talking to a total of 8 representatives out of 33 projects from the year 12 CAS. 4 of whom you've met in the session before with Aisha and Mar, and 4 more you'll meet very, very soon. And to see all of the other 25 projects, which you just saw in the video before, head on to the CAS exhibition IG page at Cikal CAS_exhibition.
Yeah, that's right. You'll be able to check out all of the incredibly interesting projects from all of our Year 12 seniors. So show them some love. Now, I'm sure you're all very excited to meet the representatives for our second session. So without further ado, please welcome our speakers.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
Okay, so let's introduce the speakers. Firstly, we have the project Speed Gel, made by Nyoman, Rafa, and Daryl. And today, the representative of Speed Gel is Daryl.
And we have Bye Bye Plastic Bag Jakarta by Chaya.
And then Just Three Things, made by Zahra, Aisha, and Anin. And today for the representative, we have Aisha.
And last but not least, we have Bincang Kreatif by Sina.
Now, I would like to remind everyone joining this talk that you are invited to write your questions in the comment section because our speakers will be answering them later on.
So, hi everybody, good morning. Day, Chaya, Aisha, and Sina. To start off, could you please introduce yourselves and your projects? Should we begin with Day?
Hi, my name is Daryl Justin Setiawan, and my project is Speedgel. I did this project alongside with my 2 friends, which is Nyoman Arya, Santiago Bujanga, and Rafael Benaya Sarmanella. And yeah, the idea came from like a airsoft game mode, and we made a event of our own using gel blasters, which is sort of like airsoft but with different materials and that.
Cool. Okay. So then we could go with Aisha.
Hi, I'm Aisha, and my group is Just Three Things. It's a podcast that is based in SoundCloud. This podcast basically talks about 3 topics and then 3 subtopics under it. There are 9 episodes that we have recorded, and we still need to upload some of them. But it talks about world issues, entertainment, and the other one is daily life and lifestyle. And I do it with Zahra and Anin, and yeah, I think that's it.
Okay. Yeah, guys, check it out. I'm sure it's a really great podcast. And then we have Chaya.
Hi, my name is Chaya. I'm from 12C, and for my CAS project, I ran an environmental organization called Bye Bye Plastic Bags Jakarta. Basically, we are a youth-led organization run by multiple representatives of different schools all over Jakarta, and I happen to be lucky enough to be the leader for the last 2 years. And so I made that my CAS project, and basically what we do is every month we have conferences, talk shows, workshops, cleanups, anything that we can do to make the city of Jakarta as green and as aware of the environmental problem that's going on, especially regarding single-use plastics, which is single-use plastic bags, plastic bottles, plastic straws, and etc. So yeah.
That sounds really awesome. Wow, your ideas and projects are so awesome. So first, let's start with. I want to ask you guys where the idea for these awesome projects came from. Do we want to start with Chaya, or does anyone else want to volunteer?
Okay, sure. Basically, I've actually been in Bioplastic Jakarta since end of 2018, if I'm not mistaken. So it never started as a CAS project. That sort of decision came later on. So I was part of this organization, and I realized that I wanted to contribute as much as I can towards it and help it grow as much as possible. And so when I was given the position as head, um, the like sort of that decision to make it my CAS project and something I truly wanted to focus on came there because I realized that this is such an amazing platform for youths all over Jakarta, and it's a really great cause and a very important cause as well. I mean, plastic is everywhere now, so I guess the reason how it came to be practically just came from my own passion towards the environment, towards wanting to make the city a better place, the but also because I wanted to be a part of this like youth empowerment that's currently happening so much around us, and yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I totally agree. I think it's so cool that you're one of the leaders of the sort of pop culture, no, cultural phenomenon that is youth-led organizations currently happening. And I definitely think that you integrating bye bye plastic bags into Cikal is just amazing, as it also aligns with our values and also enforces a sense of community within our own small school. So yeah, it's really cool what you're doing.
Thank you.
So we also have Aisha. Where did the idea for your project come from?
Okay, so my project was originally not going to be a podcast because we were planning this in year 11, and our project was actually going to be some type of like a game show, which is weird to hear, but like it was going to be like a game show because me and Zahra, we were really big Jeopardy fans, but we weren't able to make it because COVID happened. So we were thinking about ways that we could sort of make our project doable within COVID, because of course we can leave the house and we couldn't really meet up with each other too, because we were, there were a lot of restrictions. So we thought about a podcast because we were watching a lot of podcasts. I was especially watching The Tripod by the Try Guys, and I really liked their setup of having it in like sort of Google Meets and like having it through Zoom. And I thought that we could do that because it was something that we were genuinely interested to do. We were always interested in doing something that was long form. We were always interested in doing something that was talking about something, and something that was kind of research based, but also involved our opinions. And so we thought, okay, why not? Let's make a podcast through Google Meets. And we added on into our project and thought that, we have these 3 members. We can talk about 3 things, just 3 things, 3 topics, 3 members. And yeah, that's basically where it came from. So from Jeopardy to podcasts because of COVID. So yeah, it was basically based on Google Meets.
That sounds really great. I know you're a really creative person, and I feel like this is something that combined with your creativity and also your amazing ideas and opinions. This project is really something that can really contribute to the conversations that we've been having surrounding different topics. So yeah, it's so interesting. And lastly, we have Day. What about you? Where did the inspiration for your project come from?
So Speed Gel, the idea came from like this game mode within Airsoft called Speed QB, as I mentioned, and the 3 of us was just like such big fans of this game mode, and we really like always paid attention and always wanted to play this Speed QB game mode using Airsoft. However, we don't really have access to Airsoft for everyone to play, for our friends to play, for us and the community to play. But we're like really passionate about this game mode for a really long time, and we always play different game modes too, like military simulation or milsims, and skirmish games with like friends. So you know what? We like decided to just make the speed QB game, but we use gel blasters instead, which are different from airsoft. It uses a different materials and stuff, and we think that gel blasters are like better alternatives. There are Nerf, but you know we feel like gel blasters are way funner, and we even know that we even know some communities that play using gel blasters as well. So we think it's a good idea to just invite them players and play with them on our event that we created.
Yeah, I've never really been interested in sports, but hearing your project, it sounds really compelling, and it really does sell, the idea that, this could be something creative and fun for all of us to do. And I'm really happy to hear that you created such an amazing project as well. So, it could be like as fun as people who or attractive to people who don't necessarily involve themselves in sports all the time. So yeah. Moving on. Oh, hi, Sina. Hi. Okay. Would you like to introduce yourself quickly before we move on to the next question?
Hi, my name is Azahra Tersunanescu, and I'm one of the representative from year 12 to have the chance to share my test project with you guys. Thank you.
That's cool. Could you tell us a little bit about it? I know it sounds really cool. It's about working, right?
Yes, it's a webinar about how to start a career online, especially YouTube. So it's a webinar that lets the participants share and have the chance to ask directly to the expert, which is Sasha Stevenson, one of a famous YouTuber. That I think it's about it.
Okay. Well, it sounds really interesting, and I'm really interested in talking about it more. So before we jump into the other question, I just like to ask you, where did your idea for this project come from? Did you have any sort of inspiration, or was it something that you sort of thought about for a while?
So I think my inspiration is the pandemic itself, which makes me think that my project. I hope my project will help the I hope the project will help people to be creative at home and start a career online. So lots of people lose their jobs, right? So I hope this will help them and give them hope that and still be creative. Yeah, like that. That's it.
Yeah. Oh, that's really great. Actually, I'm really that's really inspiring, especially because in this pandemic, it's very easy to get lost in I guess despair, or like feel like there's nothing to look forward to. I feel like your project really helped find something to be joyful about in our daily life. So it's really great that you did this project. So I think we should move on to the next question. Iska, would you like to?
Okay, so now that you guys, you found your inspiration and you know what you want to do, so how did you take that inspiration and make it come to life? Okay, what was the process, and were there any schedules that you had to follow? Can you please share that with us? Also, if the audience have any questions, please do ask in the comment section. Yes. Okay. Maybe start with Chaya with Bye Bye Plastic Bags.
Sure. So I guess throughout the years, Bioplastic Bags Jakarta isn't just one, like sort of one big event. It's sort of a reoccurring, ongoing process throughout like the years that we exist. I mean, right now it's still running, but every month we have different specific events that we always hold. For example, we have cleanups, and then we have talk shows and workshops, and usually the planning process behind that varies depending on the event that we want to make. So, for example, if it was a cleanup, we'd have to survey the place first before going. We'd have to ask permission from like the apa kelurahan and things like that, and also um, asking as many people to join the event. And for talk shows and workshops, we have a variety of audiences as well. Sometimes our audience can be kids from elementary school. Sometimes they can be moms from like a rural area and like a place in outside of Jakarta that we've never been to, and we have to sort of adapt the way we deliver our message depending on the audience that we have, and also the activities that we're going to make. And I guess that planning process we kind of do through monthly meetings. So every month we have a meeting with everyone, with the core members, and that's where we discuss and make sure that everything is in check. Because obviously we're all from different schools and we all have different schedules, different curriculums, and I guess the other big project that we have is the school club project, where every school has their own club and each club is responsible on making their school plastic free. And the process for that is the same, monthly meetings, checking in on each other. We're all still, students figuring everything out. So it doesn't really feel like a formal thing. It's more like a big WhatsApp group and everyone's just like, oh my God, how do I do this? But yeah, I guess that's the process. I guess there's no really like a clear step-by-step thing. But yeah.
I see. So because you're, working collaboratively with other people, especially from other schools, like communication is really important, right? Yeah. Okay, that's really inspiring. Maybe Aisha next.
So for my podcast, for our podcast, we obviously started in September. We started sort of researching the topics that we wanted to do. We didn't really have a set target audience because we didn't necessarily have like a goal for who we wanted to sort of target it. Like, yes, we wanted to just like make a podcast. We didn't really thought about those other aspects. We just thought about how it can fit into the CAS project and how it could help us. But I was talking to my friend Danielle, and that was how I sort of narrowed down the ideas of the podcast and came up with the topics. And with the help of my friend group, with the group of people I was working with, obviously. So I think it was by October, November, we've already gotten the sort of 3 topics of the entertainment, daily life, and the other one's world issues. And we were trying to adjust it to the time. So like how it was relevant to the month or like what was going on. And another thing that we were talking about is the time for recording. So we almost exclusively recorded this in 3 months, I think. So from November to January, because we were trying to find it so it wasn't interrupting with our sort of schedules. So in November, we were filming episode 1 to 2, and then we were filming most of the episodes in December. And we recorded the last episode in January due to some like things that happened. So that was the process of getting it to here. And we posted a lot of it on SoundCloud. The links are on our CAS websites. And it took a lot of research, especially for the world issues part, because world issues, we didn't really want it to get anything wrong. And it was a lot of our opinions. And for entertainment, it was probably the easiest part, and lifestyle too. And yeah, that's it.
Yeah, definitely, because yours is like a podcast, right? There needs to be a lot of research because you don't really want to get anything wrong and you don't want to, make wrong assumptions or stuff like that. So yeah, I definitely understand with the lots of research, and yeah, definitely time management, because you're also collaborating with other people too, especially your friends, right?
But we schedule time.
Yeah, really cool. Next, we have Daryl.
So it of course it's a really long process, and we started off by like researching few places where we can play, because we can't just pick like a random place and just play in it, because we have to be like professional and research the right place to play in for the other players too. So we found this place called M7 Tactical. It's both for like airsoft and gel blasters, or we can say gel soft. And it's a perfect place for us to play, since we even need to create like a dense stage, since it's like close quarter battle, and with a bunch of obstacles, we need that large amount of space, but not large enough, but enough to put every obstacles we need in. And after we found like the place, we then like continue just by sending invites to the Jailbuster community, and gathering a group of committee members to help us on the event. There's also creating certificates for people who participated, and also certificates for the community too. And we have to order trophies, and we have to, assign the roles for the committee and teach them how to do their role, because speed gel is sort of a new sport in Indonesia, and we have to create the stage as well by using SketchUp, and we have to make the 3D model. And we have the worst thing, which is to make proposals, and we have to send them to our sponsorships, and also create schedules for the participants and the community. And yeah, there's probably more that we faced, but I think that's the thing that I can remember for now. And yeah, and then we just and everyone did their part. And yeah, I think that's about it for our process.
I see. Especially because you're also going out to like renting places, right? How is that? Especially with like school ongoing. I'm pretty sure you did this in year 11, right? And like you have to
Yes,
go
I
out and like rent a place. Like how was that for you?
It goes back to the proposal. We have to send proposals to the place too, so, and show them how we're gonna make the stage. That's why we show them our 3D models and how the game mode is gonna go. Who are we gonna invite? And we made a deal, and we managed to get that deal, and we just stayed in M7 Tactical because we think that's the best place we could play in.
I see, I see. Thank you so much for the insight. What about Sina?
So for Bincang Kreatif itself, it's a long and it's a complicated process. So first, as I said, that we have research before. We conducted a research and meetings that for the possible project that possible platform. So uh, so we prepared legal documents, and we also communicate and contacted Sasha Stevenson as the guest star. Um, so our action is the webinar. It's on Saturday, 6 June 2020, and through Google Meet. Yeah, it's about it. The theme is about creative industry innovation during the COVID-19 pandemic. So the research before really helps us to pick the right theme for the webinar, so that the participants um, uh, really know what they want to learn. Yeah, it's kind of it's successful. It's successful. Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
I see, I see. Especially working with like a famous person like Sasha Stevenson. How was it? Was it like a bit nerve wracking? Like, how was it when you contacted her?
Yes, it's kind of nerve wracking, and also it's uh she does she's a busy person, so we need to find the right time. Yeah. So yeah.
I see. Thank you so much for your insight, especially working with,
Thank you.
famous people and like other communities. This can be as an inspiration for all of the other year 11 or year 10 students planning to take CAS in the future. Okay, let's move on to the next question, Rika.
Okay, so with everything that you guys did, I'm wondering what challenges did you face, especially the projects, within doing the project within the pandemic or even like conducting it outside of the pandemic. Would Aisha like to start?
Challenges on the project, it's mainly just time management, because we had to manage our times to be able to record the podcast, but also research, because we wanted to get as much information right, but also we had to talk about how it was strictly our opinion, and a lot of the stuff we talked about was opinionated, and we were kind of scared that we were gonna suffer the consequences of having our opinions out, but we made sure that it was fine. And yeah, so I think it was just mainly time management and research, and also sort of piecing the episodes together afterwards, because we had to edit the episodes a little bit at the end when we weren't really good at editing the audios and stuff. So yeah, that's it.
I totally get that. And, it's really amazing that you got through it, even with the challenges that you faced. And especially when you said, having your opinions out in the open, it is such a brave thing to do. Now, I would also like to know from Chaya, what were your challenges that you faced?
As for bioplastic bags, I think since we were mainly youth oriented, and I guess back when we started, it wasn't as popular as it is right now. Sometimes we go to conferences or we go to talk shows, and the other like our peers, like our the other speakers from that talk shows are adults or something, and then sometimes we do feel as if like like a I guess people look down on young people a lot in Indonesia, and it's getting better, which is amazing. But I guess that was one of the things that taught us the most is that we really, we can't rely on what other people think of us, and we just, as long as we know what we stand for and we know what we're doing, then like there's no reason for us to let these words go into get to us. But then again, it teaches us that we're still young and we don't know anything, and we don't know everything, and so therefore it's sort of our job to try as much as we can to learn and to learn from experts and to learn from people who are more experienced than us, and to share that knowledge to our friends. um, but actually, other than that, similar to Aisha's, time management is a big issue of mine personally, especially going into the DP and like exams and everything. I think um, at one point I realized that I wasn't able to contribute as much as I did before to bioplastic bags due to like time constraints and things like that. And so now I've delegated my previous position to other members from the team, and I think that was also a big learning process, that like you can't do anything. You can't do everything at once, because you only have so much energy, and you have to take care of your mental health as well. Um, like yeah, I guess just more taking care of yourself, and making sure self-confidence and collaboration between the youth. I think those are mainly the challenges we face, but then we came out of that learning so many important lessons that it's not really a bad thing to look at.
That's so interesting, and I'm so in awe of you, especially because you're known to be a really achieving person, and I think I can learn a lot from you and your passion to continue contributing. I'd actually like to know, what did Bye Bye Plastic Bag Jakarta teach you about contributing to your community? How did you celebrate the big or small wins that made sure that, oh, this is something that really truly matters, or that, well, we should appreciate everything that we contribute to?
I think that what I learned was that there are so many different aspects to that is required in order to make a change, and the people who are the main drivers of certain changes aren't always the ones in the front lines who are, we are an organization standing for this. Sometimes the real heroes are people who don't want credit at all, and that's actually very inspiring because what I see is in a lot of organizations and making youth organizations and things like that, sometimes you get caught up between if you are doing this for the cause because you are truly passionate of the cause, or is it just for a tag in your Instagram bio, or is it for, like a pointer in your CV. Like it's the more you stay in this sort of apa ya, kayak this world of like organizations, you start seeing the differences between people who are actually putting all of their energy and time into working against this particular cause, and people who are simply doing it for, I guess, I don't know, like whatever it is they're doing it for. And it really puts you in a place of appreciation towards all of these people working behind the scenes and the people who are genuinely working towards making the world a better place, because um, it's a very, very great source of motivation and inspiration for me and for my peers as well. So yeah, I think um, like having these small wins and big wins, in the end it's just like, oh, like we're getting closer to our goal, but we shouldn't be satisfied yet. And that's sort of the lesson I learned from there, I guess.
Hmm. Yeah, I totally agree with you. Kayak with everything that's happening, we should always be mindful that there's still so much to do, and then there's always work, and that should be motivation for us to continue mobilizing and continue taking action instead of thinking that this is something that's already done. Thank you so much, Taya, for that really insightful answer. Should we move on to Day? What were the challenges that you faced?
I think the challenges that I face, finding sponsors are really hard because it's hard to find sponsors that can support us in creating this sport that is not really common in here. And we had a hard time finding a sponsor, but at the end of the day, we managed to find the sponsor. And shout out to Akira Defense for that. But other than that, I think uh, managing time, of course, it's pretty common because we have school too. We're in high school. It's pretty hard, and but other than that, I don't think there's other more because we had so much fun doing this project, and nothing really significant uh, bothered me that much. Or maybe there's something that Nyoman and Rafa is bothered with. I don't know. But so far with the project, just that finding sponsors and time managing.
Okay, I really actually like that you brought in the fact that this is something that you had fun with. So not every challenge that you face has to like block your enjoyment of doing these projects, and that this is something we can continue to look forward to despite the mishaps that we face. And lastly, Sina, what about you? What challenges did you face?
So, uh, the challenging part for us is the time management, of course. Time management and leading the team. Uh, also, uh, public speaking is my weakness, as you can see. Uh, so I
You're
becoming
doing
the
great. Don't
moderator
worry.
for the yeah becoming the moderator for event is really challenging for me. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, totally understandable. You know, all of you mentioned time management and Sina particularly public speaking, but I think, you know, you were brave enough to continue, you know, facing those challenges, you know, continuing to be brave, especially in the areas that you're really afraid of doing. I think that's really inspiring, and you know, you shouldn't worry all too much because you're doing great. You know, you're bringing very interesting insights as all of the other candidates are speakers for this session. So I think with that, we should move on to the next question, which I will give to Iska.
Yes. Also, a reminder for the viewers: the questions that you're asking in the comments will be answered at the end of the Q&A session. So please, wait. Okay. So the next question I have is that what is the insight that you got from doing your project, especially now that after facing your challenges, doing the process, meeting other people, what was the insight from this project that can help you, can help as a stepping stool for your next endeavors, for your next project, maybe. Maybe Aisha first.
So what I learned from this, or the insight that I got from this, was that not every project has to be big and sort of super impactful. I think that we tend to have the perspective that CAS projects and personal projects have to be super big and super impactful and super like extravagant, but I found that not every project needs to be like that to have the same level of impact and to help the same level of people and to benefit you and yourself. And I think that it's great that not every project to be like that, but also I also got the insight getting more skills from my friends, my collaborators. So we both were in the same boat with our skills, and we didn't really have the same skills. For example, I'm better at public speaking, and I'm better at doing these certain things, and my friends were better at researching, they were better at editing these things. So I think we definitely helped each other, and I gained skills from them and they gained skills from me, and I think it was such a good way to gain skills from other people, and that will definitely be used in my future endeavors. So yeah, I think that's it for me.
Yeah, definitely working with your close friends, especially, you get to learn off of each other, and I just think that's very cool and nice. Yeah, and then Chaya next.
Sorry, I was muted. I think as for me, my insights are quite similar to Aisha's. I mean, I feel like if it weren't for my teammates in Biopasabak Jakarta, who I have, grown such a great friendship with and still maintaining it till now, it wouldn't be as enjoyable of an experience. And I think that's a really great thing that, that I learned, is that in any project that you're doing, the relationships and the friendships that you build throughout that certain project will, be an important factor in how successful that project will become. And that can be in terms of, how much you guys respect each other, how much each of you are able to make ideas, and how creative you guys are. And so that is one. But the other insight that I think it's like just as important is to not overwork yourself, because I think at one point I was in a really bad place mentally because I was overworking myself with expectations on what I want this project to become, when in reality it's like it's better to just take it one day at a time, because it's it's important to still take care of yourself and to still have a great headspace, especially since we have to do so many tasks all at once. And this goes for you guys too, like in grade 11 you guys get so many assignments, are starting to get so many assignments too. So yeah, just taking care of yourself and to get the sense of comfort and like, I don't know, like support from your peers and from your friends. I think those are the two great insights I got from my experience.
Yeah, definitely. Especially starting DP now, right? Especially in the pandemic where we don't even get to see our teachers. We get so in our heads thinking, oh my God, I'm not doing great. Oh my God, my scores are dropping. Yeah, I feel like we should focus more on ourselves and learn that we have our own limitations. Yeah, thank you. And then next day.
I think insights. I mean, the three of us, me, Nyoman, Rafa, we learn a lot of things that to solve our problems. Especially for me, where like big events like this mostly involves me to do things behind the scenes, or just as a normal committee. But I learned a lot, and I learned about how much communication has to be put on this because me, Rafa, and Yoman just constantly text each other, and every day I wake up with like 30 plus notif from them. And we learn more as working as a team, of course, managing time, solving challenges like proposals, how to send invites, and just being creative as creating this event in general, and how to solve all of our, yeah, problems, especially when we are working as a team. Creating an event is like, communication is literally the key for us to execute this plan. So yeah, I think it's mostly communication that I learned more.
Yeah, definitely, especially you leading a team, right? A team with your friends and like other people that you maybe weren't close with before. I understand that communication may be a big hindrance, but I feel like in a CAS project, you have to be able to lead and talk with your peers. So thank you for the insight, Daryl. And then next, Sina.
For us, communication is very important, and so Bincang Creative is a collaborative work with Turun Tangan Jakarta, which is a community unprofit organization community in Jakarta, and uh, the most of the members are bapak and is so and uh so I learned I learned to try to adapt to different kind of person. That's why communication is very important. And I also learned uh, to I also learned to uh, the time management is very important. And yeah, that's great.
Yes,
Thank you.
thank you so much, Sina. Definitely, adaptation and collaborative work is very important because you're working with other people that you're not close with, and then adapting with their personality and what their beliefs and values are definitely hard. Okay, next maybe Reka. Let's head on to the Q&A from the comments.
Okay, shall we begin? So, Rafael Benaya asks for Day, how are you able to how coordinate a project so large scale and working with external factors such as other teams, location owners, etc.?
uh Thank you, Rafa, for that question. Well, of course, it's because of the team I have, actually. Yes, the team was so solid. It's really such a good team I work with. Yoman with his, incredible skills on managing and also uh, creating posters, or maybe giving ideas. He gives the best ideas. Rafa also gives the best ideas, and uh, Rafa always in what's it called? They just know how to handle everything on the event, making the event so smooth ongoing. And Yoman also supports that, which just makes the whole thing so smooth running. So we don't really have to worry that much, since we have the best team NST.
It's so sweet how appreciative you are of your teammates, and I feel like that's also a big takeaway that we can all learn from is that the people in your group, they continue to motivate you, and they make it easier, and that strengthens your bond with them and strengthens the project itself. So yeah, that was really sweet of you, Dave.
Yes,
Do we
that's the team.
Yeah. Do we have another question from the audience? Okay, so Akira Bilal Samsudarta asks, for Chaya, what is the biggest distraction you faced when doing your project? Brackets, SoundCloud, etc.
Thank you, Akira, for the question. Well, unlike what you think, my biggest distraction was actually school. As my teachers would know, I think there was a point where I didn't know which one to prioritize between my schoolwork and bioplastic bags and also my other extracurriculars. So yeah, I guess the that was just the main distraction, is just not knowing which one to prioritize, and that taught me like prioritizing things is a very important skill to have. And yeah.
Okay, right. That's very, very useful. Obviously, balancing schoolwork and other projects is always hard. But as you said previously, it's also important to take care of yourself, right? So do you have another question?
Or maybe Aisha and Sina wants to answer this question juga?
Yeah, feel free, guys. No?
Okay. So for me, I would say that it was my mental state that was the most distracting. I think that during last year, it was kind of a weird time for me. So I was trying to regulate my mental state while also doing like my final year of school and kind of getting back in the groove. So I would say that's the biggest distraction. But also college preparations was the biggest distraction because my college plans completely changed last year. So I was trying to both adapt to our just three things schedule that we had and be able to still study for college and like the lessons that I had and the study guides that I had to make. So it's just like the matter of time, again, time management, but mostly college prep, mental state, and obviously schoolwork. Schoolwork was a big distraction because we had to time sort of a lot of homework passed on top of each other, IAs to do, research to do for IAs, and yeah, so schoolwork, college prep, and mental state. That's it.
Yeah, especially
That's
being
totally understandable. Iska, you want to go?
yeah, especially being in year 12 and like, oh my god, also thinking about the future and stuff like that. Yeah, I definitely understand, even though I'm still in year 11, but I get it. Next question. No, actually, last question. Okay, from Rafael again. A question for Kakak Sina. How are you able to contact and cooperate with people outside of your circle for your CAS project, and what are the challenges? Sina, please.
Thank you, Rafa, for asking. um, as I said, that communication is very important, and uh, the the first reason that I want to join Turuntangan Jakarta is um, I want a new environment, and I want uh, to to create to to create more network with the people outside the Cikal circle or my friend circle. So the challenges is talking to talking to a lot of uh, different kinds of people, uh, and to prove, not to prove. I mean, uh, sometimes as as a high school student, people kind of underestimate us for certain things. So maybe active in discussions and in project will yeah, will help us. Thank you.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like CAS can be a playground for us, year 11 and year 12 students to, challenge ourselves and make sure that we get the most out of our last year in high school. Yeah, definitely. Next question, I think there is. Yes. Reka, do you want to read this?
Sure, thanks, Iska. So Adelia Rizka says, Chaya, you have a very beautiful project, and her question is, how do you manage to minimize plastic use, especially with your very successful business?
Thank you, Adele, for asking that beautiful question. I think what she's referring to is the cookie business. I started this pandemic, and basically, the question was how do I reduce plastic usage? Yeah, minimize plastic use. Basically, we don't use plastic in our packaging. We actually use cassava based packaging or brown paper, and so everything is biodegradable. I think that ever since bioplastic bags, it's sort of, I don't know, it's like planted in my head that I can't, make those decisions. So yeah, we don't use any materials that can't that is not biodegradable. And yeah, I hope that answers your question. Thank you.
Thank you, Chaya. Yeah. Wow, you guys, if you don't know, please check out Chaya's business. It's wasabi cookies, right? Or correct me if I'm wrong.
Wabi sabi.
Okay, wabi sabi cookies. If you want to support Chaya's business, go check it out. As you can see, she doesn't use plastic. She's, a woman of her word. So I think we can also move on to the next question.
Oh, no. Okay, I feel like that's enough for the questions. Rika, do you want to wrap it up and summarize?
Right. Okay. So with everything that we just discussed, the few takeaways that I got from this session is, first, it's really important to take care of yourself, especially with with having to manage your time. A part of managing your time is also to take care of yourself and prioritize your own well-being. Second is that with the projects that help us collaborate with people, it strengthens our bond with them, and we can grow as individuals as well as grow our relationships with other people. Third of all is that with passion and genuinity, any project doesn't have to be big to be impactful, as long as we continue putting in the work to do these projects. That's what matters. And last but not least is that people push us to adapt to any sort of circumstance that we think is something that's challenging to us, or something that we haven't faced before. With the right people and continuing to put yourself out there, you can really grow as an individual. So yeah, and we'd like to remind you that you can head to our Instagram at Cikal CAS_exhibition to check out all the other amazing year 11 year 12 projects, because everyone did such a wonderful job and they put a lot of hard work. So please make sure to appreciate every single one of the year 12 students.
And yes, that is the end of our second and last session of the 2021 CAS Exhibition Project Talk. Thank you, Day, Chaya, Aisha, and Sina for sharing and inspiring us.
Yeah, with this concludes the 2021 CAS Exhibition Project Talk. We would like to say thank you to all of you who have joined our session today, and to all the speakers from today. You guys were very inspiring, as Iska mentioned before. Again, thank you so much for supporting, and have a great day, everyone. We will see you again at next year's CAS exhibition.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye. Check out